Hi guys, I'm Luke, head chef of Burn Ends, and this is how I cook a steak at home.
Sirloin and ribeye from a 14-year-old Blackmore full-blood Wagyu cow, which I was breaking down with Sean earlier. All the cows have big, bold flavour, but you can see here this still has that beautiful Wagyu marbling.
So we start off, obviously a good bit of oil on the steak and a bit of salt to help it to stick. We cook it a little bit different style at the restaurant where we go no oil, no salt, but because we're in a pan, I thought it would apply a little bit better.
We have the sirloin, hot pan, a little bit of oil, and we get the steak in. We want to press it flat so that it can cook nice and evenly and have good contact with the pan.
So you can see we're starting to build some colour, but not quite enough yet.
Once you've got good colour and crust on one side, we flip it and do the same to the other.
Just moving it around to find the hotter part of the pan. Obviously where it's been sitting, the pan's going to lose heat. Take it out, let that rest.
Why do you have to rest the steak?
Both surfaces of the steak have gotten really hot from the pan, but by taking it out early, letting it rest, the heat can travel from the outside to the inside, and we can get some balance in temperature.
Resting, we're going to go back in with the fat side down, just to help render some of that thicker fat and make it a bit less chewy.
You can see the crust now, after letting it rest, is much deeper, much stronger. Turn down the heat slightly so we don't burn some butter. Put some fresh oil. And then we want to tilt it back.
Why do you have to baste it?
And then the reason we're going to baste it is, in a pan, it's hard to get a nice deep crust, especially with the power of a electric stove at home. So by adding the butter, it'll give us a really deep brown, almost like a bit of a cheating.
What does basting actually do to the steak?
Basting splashes the nice hot oil across the surface of the beef, and because it's butter, you have all of your milk solids, and you'll get this browning and caramelization from the butter, and it's a nice way of keeping it a little bit more moist as well. It's very much like a traditional French technique. At the restaurant, we never cook steaks like this. We go open fire on the grill, so it's a completely different style. But for at home with no barbecue, this is most likely your best bet. Obviously, you want to be careful not to burn your butter at this stage.
Rest again for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the thickness of your steak. And we're going to start with the ribeye. Nice, hot, clean pan and a light amount of oil.
Do you cook the sirloin and the ribeye the same way?
Yeah, we cook it very similarly. This one we don't need to render the outside fat because it is nowhere near as thick on this one. But you just need to take note. The tricky part here is that you've got two different muscle groups and they will cook slightly different timing. And there's not much we can do to avoid that because we're in a pan with uniform heat. When we're on the grill at work, we can balance having some of the fire to one side to control which side cooks faster, but in the pan there's not much we can do. Yeah, smoke it out, huh?
We'll cook it till it has developed a good crust on both sides and let it rest.
This is like cheating at home. You can open the muscle and have a look inside at the temperature.
Is there any way for someone to check if the pan is hot enough?
You want to see smoke coming off the pan, and the obvious one is you can just raise your hand above it to feel that it has a strong amount of heat.
What about using water?
Yeah, you can, but I mean, the water's going to boil and bounce at 100 degrees. We're looking for much stronger than that.
Now we put it back in one last time to develop a deeper crust and then add some butter to do some basting. Now that they've cooked and rested, it's time to carve. Let's start with the sirloin. Now for the ribeye, you can see you've got two different muscles here, so that's why I like to break it off before carving so that we can get nice even slices for both muscle groups. Always finish with a little bit of olive oil and then a sprinkle of salt.